Women have been told to stay at home and cover up. Their right to attend Kabul University has also been stripped away.
The Taliban is in power in Afghanistan. Girls are barred from school. 2.5 million girls and young women are out of school. Women are absent from public life. They're not allowed to work. They're not allowed to travel. They wear a burqa that covers them from head to toe. If they don't, there are consequences. Earlier this month, the Taliban banned beauty salons, one of the last means of employment available to Afghan women. They've already barred from most forms of employment and education, and now the Taliban have decided to shut this refuge as well. Last week, the Taliban issued a new law. It is for women. They must cover their faces. They must be accompanied by male guardians. They cannot talk loudly in public. More importantly, they cannot even sing or be heard. So Afghan women must exist in silence. That's what the Taliban wants.
The Taliban have been trying to stop women in the Afghan capital, Kabul, from protesting on the streets. They fired shots in the air as dozens of women protested against the restriction of women's rights.
We Afghan women have worked hard, studied and specialised in education for 20 years. But today we have been removed from the cabinet. We want our human rights.
Our demonstrations are being held because without the presence of women, no society will prosper. The elimination of women means the elimination of human beings. If women are not present in a country, in a society, in a ministry or cabinet, that country or cabinet will not be successful.
Since the Taliban's return to power in August 2021, Afghan women have faced severe discrimination and repression under Taliban-imposed policies, sparking a global outcry and efforts for international intervention. The Taliban have issued over 80 edicts that limit women's rights, effectively banning education for girls past 6th grade, prohibiting women from working in most sectors, and restricting their mobility by mandating male guardianship and imposing strict dress codes. Additionally, recent decrees prevent women from even raising their voices in public around male strangers, aiming to silence them completely in public life. The Taliban's restrictions, often enforced by the morality police, constitute what the United Nations describes as gender apartheid. Afghan women have been systematically excluded from nearly all aspects of public life, with many forced into informal work such as handicrafts to survive economically. Women working in healthcare or arts face extreme pay cuts, worsening the financial strain on families that lost male providers in years of conflict. Despite this oppression, Afghan women have shown resilience. They set up the secret schools to educate girls, and underground beauty salons and gatherings have emerged as quiet forms of resistance. They also organized small protests in Kabul and other cities, but these kinds of protests are always targeted and cracked down with oppression by the Taliban. These efforts, while courageous, come at great personal risk as Taliban forces continue to crack down on any form of dissent, imprisoning hundreds of women who have defied their strict rules. Estimated around 800+ women have been imprisoned for violating the Taliban's law. The Afghan women have garnered global support for their resilience for the women's rights protest and demand in Afghanistan. United Nations and other countries have tried to talk with Taliban to tone down their radical policy. But they aren't ready to do any changes in their radical policies. A lot of protests have happened inside Afghanistan and outside Afghanistan, which resulted in very minimal success. The world, and especially Muslim Ummah, might have forgotten the struggle of Afghan women, but Afghan women aren't. They're still active in their fight for resilience, each and every day.